On GAP News, Family Feud claims probed in French Alps shooting. Detectives will look to today's post-mortems on the victims of the shooting in the French Alps to trigger a lead in discovering who committed the massacre. The motive of slaying 3 British family members and a passing French cyclist still remains unknown. Also, ones to watch on day 9 of the Paralympic Games. Richard Whitehead is going for his 2nd gold of the Games to add to his 200-metre title. Prince Harry deployed to Afghanistan. The 27-year-old army captain who spent 10 weeks on the front line in 2007 to 2008 will be in the hot seat of a fearsome Apache during his 4-month deployment. And One Direction beat Justin Bieber and Rihanna to 3 MTV VMA Awards. Welcome to GAP News. I'm Gary Pendlebury. Detectives will look to today's post-mortems on the victims of the shooting in the French Alps to trigger a lead in discovering who committed the massacre there. The motive for the slaying of the 3 members of a British family and a passing French cyclist remains unknown. Detectives, though, are examining claims that the victim, Salid Al-Heli, was involved in a money feud with his brother, public prosecutor Eric Mollard, has told AFP. He cautioned against drawing conclusions too early, saying it was difficult to see how such a quarrel could pass from a financial dispute to a quadruple murder. Mr. Ali Al-Heli's brother went to British police yesterday to proclaim his innocence and help them in the investigation, AFP reported, citing a French police. Mr. Al-Heli from Claygate in Surrey was shot along with his wife, Quibble, her mother, a Swedish national, in Wednesday afternoon's attack, describing Mr. Mossad as a gross savagery. The couple's daughter, 7-year-old Zeynep, and 4-year-old Zaina both survived the attack. The elder girl is stable in a coma after being shot and beaten in the attack, while the younger is being supported by psychiatric staff. The children, who were apparently the only witnesses to the shootings on the isolated Alpine Road, are receiving police protection for fear that they could be targeted by the killer or the killers. Relatives of the girls are flying to the region to be reunited with them, authorities have said, with British consular staff attending to them in the interim. The cyclist has been named as a married father of 3, Sylvian Mather. The 3 family members killed were each shot twice in the head, while Mr. Mollier was hit 5 times, Sky News has reported, citing sources. The brutal massacre near Annecy may have involved more than 1 gunman, the source added. The 4-year-old girl was found alive underneath the bodies of her family 8 hours after the massacre. She lay undiscovered as police waited for forensic experts to arrive from Paris, and was found terrorised, motionless in the midst of the bodies, Mr. Molliard said. French President François Hollande said authorities will do our utmost to find the perpetrators in a press conference in the UK. Mr. Hollande, who is making his 3rd visit to the UK, joined David Cameron in pledging to get to the bottom of the tragedy. Police said the motive of the attack remained a mystery, but revealed there were signs of a vehicle braking at the scene. Investigators said no weapon had been found and no arrests had been made, and it was unclear whether the shootings were carried out by one killer or a number of people. The Foreign Secretary William Hague yesterday tweeted his condolences. Mr. Mullard also revealed that Swedish and Iraq passports had been recovered along with the driver's British passport. The postman of the father killed in the French Alps shooting said he was a pleasant man who had lived in Claygate in Surrey for 3 to 4 years. Richard Whitehead is going for his second gold of the Games to add to his 200-metre title. The 36-year-old famously flexed his biceps in a triumphant two-gun salute in a thrilling final on Saturday, and now the Nottingham star will be hoping to emulate the fate in today's 100-metre race. Shelley Woods, who proved her medal credentials in the T45 1500 metre by claiming much needed and morale boosting win in the heats, goes for gold. Mickey Bushell seeks a second gold in the T53 200 metres as Scott Morehouse has an outside chance in javelin. After running a personal best to finish 4th in the 200 metres T35, Sophia Warner runs the 100 metres. Jim "The Swim" Anderson is competing in his 6th Paralympic at the age of 49, goes in the 50-metre freestyle. 4-time Paralympic medalist Louise Watkin, 20, will bid to upset Natalie Detroit in the women's S9 50-metre freestyle. Rachel Morris, the 2008 champion who recovered from a road accident in July which wrote off her bike, has decent chance of winning gold in the hand cycling road race. Still to come on GAP News. Prince Harry deployed to Afghanistan. The army captain who spent 10 weeks on the front line between 2007 to 2008 will be in the hot seat of a fearsome Apache during his 4-month deployment. And One Direction beat Justin Bieber and Rihanna to 3 MTV VMA Awards. All that and more after this break. See you soon. Welcome back to GAP News. A reminder of our top story today. Detectives will look onto today's post-mortems on the victims of the shooting in the French Alps to trigger a lead in discovering who committed the massacre. The motive for the slaying of 3 members of a British family and passing French cyclist still remains unknown. Detectives, though, are examining claims Salid al-Hili was involved in a money feud with his brother, public prosecutor Eric Mullard, has told AFP. Prince Harry has been deployed to Afghanistan to fly helicopters in the fight against the Taliban. The 27-year-old army captain who spent 10 weeks on the front line in 2007 and 2008 will be in the hot seat of a fearsome Apache during his 4-month deployment. Having arrived at the war-torn country in the early hours today under the cover of darkness, Harry spent his first morning at Camp Bastion checking over the state-of-the-art army aircraft as he likened to a robot. He looked relaxed, if slightly tired, and gave a thumbs up after a long journey on a standard troop flight from RAF Brize Norton in Oxfordshire. The Royal climbed up to peer into the cockpit of one of the helicopters he will fly and crouched down to inspect its weapons. He wore his combat uniform and was joined on the Apache flight line by another unnamed member of the 100-strong unit he is posted to, 662 Squadron 3 Regiment Army Air Corps. Harry is greeted at Camp Bastion in Afghanistan by the commander of the Joint Aviation Group, Captain Jack Gordon, Royal Navy. Last time his deployment to Afghanistan was shrouded in secrecy. This time the world has been told about the Prince's tour of duty just after he arrived. Finally, British boy band One Direction picked up the 3 awards at the prestigious MTV Video Music Awards, crowning their arrival on the US pop scene. The 5 former X Factor contestants beat Justin Bieber and Rihanna for the Best Pop Video, and they also won the Most Share-Worthy Video award for their debut hit single What Makes You Beautiful and New Artist. One Direction also performed single One Thing to hordes of screaming girls. R&B artist Chris Brown, sporting a grey silk suit and bleached white hair, collected the Best Male Video Award for Turn Up the Music, while Calvin Harris was the winner of the VMA's first award in the increasingly popular electronic dance music category for Feel So Close. Rihanna, debuting a new pixie haircut, opened the show with a high-energy medley of her hit single We Found Love and a remix of the sexy number Cockiness Love It, featuring rapper ASAP Rocky. The R&B singer from Barbados went into the ceremony as a joint top nominee with rapper Drake, with each getting 5 nominations, but an hour into the show Rihanna was empty-handed. Canadian rapper Drake won Best Hip Hop Video for Heifer, featuring Lil Wayne, which celebrates his Jewish heritage. I want to dedicate this award to any kid who has had a long walk home, Drake said. Other performers included Pink and hip-hop artist Frank Ocean, with appearances still to come from the country pop singer Taylor Swift, Alicia Keys and punk rockers Green Day. Vying for the biggest prize, Video of the Year, are Drake with Take Care, Go Tide for Somebody That I Used to Know, Katy Perry for Wide Awake, MIA for Bad Girls and Rihanna for We Found Love. Well done to all groups. Well, that is it from me from this evening. We'll be back with more news for you at 5 PM and also at 6 PM very soon. And of course, I will be here with all your news updates throughout the evening, and the all-important weather forecast is for you just after this programme. But from everyone on the 6 o'clock team, thanks for watching, a very goodbye, and we'll see you at the same time very soon. Have a good evening.